Okay, we have a 4mm hook for the bonnet, which is 0 to 3 month size, and approximately 50 grams of DK yarn in white I'm using. I mean, you can use any colour you want. I'm not feeling well today, feeling a little bit better than yesterday, so hence I'm having a sofa day in my pyjamas. We start with a slip knot, which I'm hoping everyone knows where to do a slip knot. Then chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 chains, slip stitch into the first chain to form a ring. Now I am left-handed. Then we're going to do 3 chains to start with, and then we're going to do 11 triples into that centre. Now 11 triples is DC in American terms. So yarn over through the centre, bring up loop, yarn over 2, yarn over 2. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 'Then we turn our work and then chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're going to do a double triple. So yarn over twice. Pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. And then we're going to chain 2. And then double triple into the next stitch. I'm going to do this all the way around. Chain 2. Yarn round twice into the stitch, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, chain 2, 1, 2. Hang on, my walls. Yarn round twice into the stitch, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, chain 2. Obviously I'm left-handed, so if you're right-handed you'll be going round the other way. Twice. Chain 2, and we're going to do this all the way around, and I'll meet back up with you when we come round to the end. Right, we have 12 of these legs And now I've chained the 2. Now we're going to slip stitch into the 4th chain of this beginning 6 chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and slip stitch into there. And now I'm going to turn the work. Now we're going to start with 5 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then on top of this double treble, we're going to do a DC, which in American terms is a single crochet. In UK terms, it's a double crochet. So we don't put the yarn round, we just go straight into the stitch. Then yarn and pull through. Now we're going to do 4 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then into the next double crochet, we're just going to put a single crochet or a UK double crochet. And 1, 2, 3, 4 chains, single crochet or double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Excuse the dog. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to continue around. When we get to the end of that row, we've done that last double crochet in there, so we do the 4 chains. 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to slip stitch into the base of the beginning 5 chains. So slip stitch. And then we've got almost like a flowery frill. That's the end of round 3. Right, for row 4, we're not going to turn our work. We're going to slip stitch for 2. 1, 2. And then we're going to DC into this space, or SC. And then we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Into the next space, DC. Chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. DC into the next space. Chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'll meet you at the end. We'll do that all the way around. So for this row, we want to do a V-stitch into a DC, then into a chain loop, then into the DC, into the chain loop, all the way round. But we do leave a gap because we want to repeat these, well, 4 stitches, so 11 times, so that we have 12 sets altogether. So those 2, one DC and 1 chain is 1 group. We need to do like 12 groups in total, which will leave us a space. So I'll meet you at the end. Drawing with slip stitch to the first DC and turn. round 5, we're going to turn our work, and then we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to a triple at the base of the chain 3. And then into this chain loop, we're going to do 2 triples or 2 DCs to create a V stitch. So 1, 2, and then into this DC from the previous row, we're going to do a V stitch. So that's 2 triples. 1, 2, and then into the loop 2. So for this row, we want to do a V stitch into a DC, then into a chain loop, then into the DC, into the chain loop, all the way round. But we do leave a gap because we want to repeat these, well, 4 stitches, so 11 times, so that we have 12 sets altogether. So those 2, 1 DC and 1 chain is 1 group. We need to do like 12 groups in total, which will leave us a space. So I'll meet you at the end. At the end of row 6, you'll have 46 triples, and you have this gap. Then we turn our work. Then we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to put a triple or a DC in American terms into each of these triples on the V stitch. So all the way round. Into each stitch. Work your way around that row. At the end of row 6, you'll have 46 triples, and you have this gap. Then we turn our work. Row 7, turn the work, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then into this next stitch, gonna do puff stitch. So yarn around into the stitch, pull up a loop, 1, 2, 3, 4, pull up a loop 4 times, yarn round, and pull through all loops and chain 1, and miss a stitch into the next stitch, puff stitch again. So pull up 4 loops, 1, 2, 3, 4, pull through all the loops, make sure you get them all, chain 1, that locks it, miss a stitch, 1 in there, another puff stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, pull through all the loops, chain 1, a miss stitch, carry along when you get to the end of that row, you miss that last stitch and then you triple into that 3rd chain at the beginning. So we put a triple into there. Right, row 8. Triple 3, chain 3, sorry, chain 3, and triple into the path, triple into the chain, triple into the path, triple into the chain space. So then we triple into the top of the path, triple into the chain space, triple into the path, triple into the chain space, all the way around. Row 9 is chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then a triple into each stitch around. So triple into every triple. Row 10 is the same as row 9, chain 3, and triple into each stitch around. You should have 46, including the chain 3. Row 11 is the puff round again, so chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we do a puff into the next stitch. So bring up a loop, 1, 2, 3, 4, pull through all loops, chain 1, miss a stitch and puff into the next stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, pull through, chain 1, miss a stitch, puff into the next stitch, and then with a triple into the last stitch. Right, row 12, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, then triple into the top of your puff, then into the space, triple into the puff, into the space, carry on along and triple into the last stitch. Right, row 13, chain 1, and then DC or single crochet in each stitch right along to the other end. At row 14, chain 1, miss this first stitch, 5 half trebles into the next stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, miss a stitch and then slip stitch. Then miss a stitch and then 5 half trebles. Five, miss a stitch, slip stitch, then miss a stitch, 5 half trebles, miss a stitch, slip stitch, miss a stitch, 5 half trebles all the way across. When we get to the end of the row, DC, single crochet into that last stitch, but don't turn. We're then going to work along the whole bottom of the bonnet. So we're going to do 1 DC all the way across or single crochets. DC UK, single crochets, American terms. Now, in these gaps, I normally do 2 DCs in those gaps. And then when we get to that center piece where we've got this spare loop, we're going to do 3 single crochets or 3 double crochets, and then we'll carry along and do the double crochets to the end here just before the frill and finish off. Now after we've fastened off, after row 14, that's the main part of our bonnet finished. So by doing those DCs all on there and then the 3 in there and back to the other end, it gives you a nice edging on the bottom of the bonnet. And then your bonnet should look like this. But we've not finished. We need to rejoin our yarn. We're going to rejoin it first of all to this row here where we did our first row of these stitches, because we are going to make the ruffle along this row. The actual bar, so we put the hook round the bar, join the yarn and chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to do double trebles round that bar. So wrap the yarn twice around that bar, so put the hook in around the bar, bring up the loop, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. That's 1. We're going to do 5 more, no, 4 more. We needed 5 as well as this chain 4, so we need 1 more. And then we chain 1, we go to our next bar, so I'm going across this way. So the next bar is this one, and we're just going to do a double crochet and then chain 1, and then into the next bar we're going to do 6 double crochets. So into this bar, 6 double crochets. Oh, difficult. I'm trying to keep my phone in focus. So that's 2. So we do 6, then we chain 1, DC into the next bar, chain 1, 6 double crochets into the next bar, chain 1, DC, chain 1, 6 double crochets, chain 1, DC, chain 1, 6 double crochets. So we're going to alternate around those bars for this row, and then ending with a DC, and then we fasten off. And we're also going to do that same row on which one was it? I think it was there. So that was 5, 6, 7, 8. On row 9, we're going to complete that same row, and you can see it there. So row 5, which is what I'm just doing now, and then complete on the bars again for row 9, and then fasten off at the end of the row. That will give you this nice frill. And then you can thread ribbons either side of the puffs, which I've done, and then I've just got to stitch an embellishment onto the back. And then next we'll make the neck strings. Now, for the neck strings, we need to use double yarn. So I always use the centre of my ball of yarn because it stops it rolling around. So lucky I've got access to both ends. So you can either unwind some so that you've got like 2 strands, or you can use both ends of your ball of yarn at the same time. I mean, you don't need too much yarn. So I'm going to start where this frill is on the edge, just in this corner stitch. So yeah, 2 strands, and then the cord's nice and sturdy, and then we're going to chain 40. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'll meet you back when we're done 40. Right, I've got 40 chains. Then we're going to do 3 triples into the 3rd chain from a hook. So into this one. Excuse me. One, 2, 3. And then we fasten off, and that just gives you a little fancy end onto the end of your neckties. So then we just snip it off, and then all we need to do then is to sew in all the ends. This one I've got to still put the frill on. You could put the frills on first and then do the neckties, but I've done the neckties first just to go ahead and show you on the video. This one, all the ends are stitched in. I threaded ribbon in either side of the puff stitches. I've used pink, but white would have been nice as well, but I think the contrast is nice. Entirely up to you. And then I've just folded over the end of the ribbon. This ribbon doesn't tend to fray anyway, but I need to fold it under and then just stitched at either end. Make sure it's not pulled too tight, the ribbon, you know, sort of give it a nice tug before you stitch it in place to make sure it's not all puckered. And then there's the neckties. So there's the back. I'm going to sew a pink bow onto the back. I do have, just a second, but it's not quite this little embellishment. But it's got like sort of a cardboard piece on there, which, you know, I don't want cardboard on there, so I think what I'll do is just sew a pink satin bow on the back. A button would be quite nice, but then it might not be very comfortable for a baby to lie on. So yeah, because this is cardboard, I'm not going to stitch it on because then it's not going to be washable. Or I could take the cardboard off actually. That bit's cream. I'm not liking this cream part. But these are just silk flowers. Oh no, that's no good. It's all falling apart. So now I've got some pink bows. I'm going to just stitch a pink bow onto the back. And that's it. Finished.